Mr. Bradshaw with at addsometeyouриncome.com, here to speak with you about things that you can sell in order to make some extra money. I'm going to first talk about things that I would recommend you don't sell with reasons why. Then I'm going to talk about how to focus on not just selling, but creating things that are valuable, listing a whole bunch of quotes that I have that I call the create like crazy quotes. Let's jump in. This question of what I can sell to make extra money often is followed up with advice to sell some things that you actually find very precious, that you value a lot, that you probably paid top dollar. And if you go to create that yard sell, you won't be able to sell those items for what you paid. I remember reading in a book about doing the yard sale. Okay, what is a yard sale? This is where you bring out things that you think your neighbors are going to want to buy, but most of the time you just have people noticing the things that you have. And you make a bit of money, and yet at the end of the day, you still have a couple of big boxes of things to take down and donate. And the person recommended, and I recommend, I'm just passing on someone else's advice, donate the stuff you're willing to let go of and spend your Saturday creating something. So I found it really interesting because there were a number of books that just said, have a yard sale, you make some money. And this one really hit home for me that those things that you paid top dollar and you maybe even still value and you let go of them at a really low price, you could do this. You could have a yard sale. I'm sure you have some things that you could sell. And yet you might find it better to do the donation, keep track of the value of the items that you donated for your tax purposes later that year to report what you donated. To get a point at home on this one, I have a picture here of a telescope. So my father-in-law was very into looking at the heavens at nighttime and had this amazing telescope, which he has passed along. And I have. Right now, I'm thinking back on how we just watched the two planets, Saturn and Jupiter, come so close together, we could look at them in the telescope. Well, how does this all connect? Which was just amazing. It was amazing to see the rings of Saturn and the moons of Jupiter and the two planets all within one eye shot in the telescope. Well, how does this come in? Because just a couple of weeks before, I had been communicating with my mom about this event that was about to happen. She asked me about the telescope, and I looked up online this telescope to find that this telescope is a really expensive telescope. To buy it today, it's about a $5,000 telescope. Okay, how does that come into play? Well, rewind a few more months when I was thinking of selling some things, and I was thinking of doing maybe a yard sale or putting it online. Selling that telescope could have brought me a wad of cash, and a fairly large wad of cash now that I know that. However, I would have missed out on that opportunity with my kids. So I give a warning to not sell something that's really valuable to you just to make money. Money's not worth it. And whatever that is, maybe you have a really nice sports car that you love to drive. Maybe you have model rockets that you like to fire off. You've got a bunch of camping gear and you love to go camping. Whatever it is that you value, hold on to it. Because you value it. And you probably paid top dollar. And you should keep that. Now, that is a recommendation. I understand that you may be in such a position that you actually do need to sell your things. You're even looking at selling your house. And that's a time where you may find that you're selling that telescope and making a couple $1,000s. I'm just warning you that the quality of your life is going to change. And there are ways to create things, to sell, focus on not just selling things, but selling things that are valuable. that you create. This is where we get into my create like crazy quotes. I collect these quotes. They always inspire me to keep working on the next thing that I'm working on. One of my favorites is a George Bernard Shaw quote where he said he found that when he created things, 9 out of 10 of them were successful. And so it just made him work 10 times as hard to find the things that are successful for people. I think about this right now, what I'm doing. I'm creating a video to help tell people about ways to make more money. This video could be a flop. It could be one of the 9 out of 10. I could have just a few views. Thanks, mom and brother and sisters, right? Or it could be the 1 out of 10 that really goes, oh, here's this quote. So I keep creating. And I encourage you to keep creating, keep trying, keep experimenting, keep making something to give the world that's valuable. If you're really asking what to sell, it reminds me of a quote that I don't have in here. Sell, the base of sell, the word, is selv, and it comes from Scandinavia. And in Scandinavia, the word selv is roughly translated into English as serve. So the quote is, when you truly sell something, you have served someone else. As you go to sell, find the things that are going to be of value to others. How do you do that? Well, you create them and then you share them. And you find out how valuable they are to the other people that are on the receiving end. How many people watch this video? How many people will value what it is that you create, the books that you write, the poetry that you write, the articles that you write? I get into writing pretty fast when I talk about creating, but it could be songs that you create. It can be artwork that you create. I'm just thinking here on things that you create and create, and you will find 1 out of 10 of them start to really be successful. Don't let those 9 failures get you down. Keep creating. Here's another one for you. We are the opening verse of the opening chapter of the page of the chapter of Endless Possibilities. Thank you, Rudyard Kipling. This is a moment where I hope to switch your thinking from what are the things that I have value that I could sell to someone else, like my camping gear and my model rockets, and for me, the telescope. And instead, switch it around. What am I going to start creating today that will sell? Spend more time being creative than being entertained. I enjoy Jeff Wheeler, and he's an amazing author. I got this book from his book where he advised on how to become an author, which I recommend if you're looking at going into writing as your profession, called The First Million Words. Jeff pointed out something I had decided probably 6-7 years before. That was, I decided I was no longer going to just be a consumer and being entertained and taking things. I decided I was going to be a creator, a composer, an arranger, someone who put things together to give to the world. And I truly became, I felt in that moment, a giver, which is this great thing that I'm willing to share myself and give things to the world. I have no idea if they're going to value them. Again, 9 out of 10 things not valued very much. However, it changed me. I spent time being creative. I spent more time being creative than being entertained. So when I came across this quote 6-7 years after that, it just really rung true for me, and it still does today. Emily Dickinson's quote here is, I dwell in possibility. There she is at the top of that mountain. Think about all the inspiration that's around you. And it's just a question of whether or not you're noticing it, said John Green. Notice the things that are around you that you can pull together to then sell to others. Why should I deem myself to be a chisel when I could be the artist. This next one is to help put things in perspective that as you create today and you want to sell, and then you maybe fail. It doesn't work. It's one of the 9 out of 10. You create today and you want to see the money. You want to see the money. So you want to sell things to make money. Go have that yard sale, see a few dollars, all right? Or spend that same amount of time planting the seeds. So don't judge a day by the harvest that you reap today, but by the seeds that you plant. And this is on a door of one of the teachers at the school that I'm at, Miss Whitney, Allison Whitney. This is her classroom door. Don't judge each day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds that you plant. For my last quote and my last point on this, a successful man is one who can lay a firm foundation with the bricks others have thrown at him. I put this here because I think David Brinkley was really onto something for all of us who go into creating. And that is, you're going to have doubters. They're going to throw bricks at you. You're going to have plenty of people, both close to you where it can really hurt and even further away, that won't believe in you and what you're about to do. To be successful, you lay your foundation on those bricks and you begin to build what you're going to build to give to the world. Later, people will say you were lucky and you were blessed, and you will know that you put in the time and earned it. Again, I look forward to seeing you on the other side.